All right. And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there? There's anybody out there at all is going to join me here this evening, spend a little bit of time with us here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to shoot my mouth off here for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, I mean, as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, also, instead of me just rattling on, 30 minutes or whatever, sometimes it's nice just to talk to somebody else. You know what I mean? Especially we got that draft coming up, right? Well, I'll be talking a little bit that obviously in this video, but please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box, there's a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. And that way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links, okay? The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook. It's the group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Okay. Basically, I say this in all my videos. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can remember. I don't have to what's the group called? What's the page? What's the channel called? It's all called the same thing. All right. But the top one takes you to the Facebook group. All right. What do we got? We have over 2,900 members, closing in on 3,000 members in the group. I put stuff in there every day, 7 days a week, every day. I try to put it up to about 10 different things in here every day, whether it's a picture, a post, a video, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys. I do enjoy that, making fun of the Eagles and the Cowboys. I just put a picture up a couple hours ago of Jeremy Shockey. Yeah, there's just all kinds of stuff. A video in here, something. Giants were visiting with the Tennessee quarterback, which I'm going to go over in a couple minutes. Hendon Hooker, right? There's all kinds of stuff. And not only do I post stuff in here every day, but the members post stuff in here as well too. So if you go here and you become a member, you get said not only you get a ton of New York Giants information, but you can also post stuff in here as well too. Then also in the description box, the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post in here. But it's the same thing, right? I put, 7 days a week. I try to get up to about 10 different things in here every day. Sometimes in the off season, it's a little difficult. There's not a lot maybe going on sometimes, so it's a little difficult. But when the season's in, it's there's a ton of stuff goes in there every day. What do we have? We have over 1,000 people who like it, and there's over 4,300 people who are following the page. So the page is really, really doing good, really taking off. As I said, it's the same thing. Between the both. I mean, I try to get a ton of stuff in here, and I don't commingle them, right? So whatever I post and pictures and videos and stuff, I put in the page. I don't put in the group, and whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page, right? So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between a ton, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. And like I say in every video, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back, guaranteed. All right, well, all that stuff said and done, out of the way with. The Giants, I finally finished up with their top 30 visits, and it's really, really interesting to see, who they brought in, Obviously, there's 30 of them. Okay, the tricky thing is that it's like some of them, it's like how deep into the first round do you want to, go? I mean, because it's like if there's a guy who might go number 10 or 11 or 12, do you want to waste a visit on bringing somebody in like that? Unless you're just so enamored with the person, it's like, you know what, this guy is freaking great. If we, maybe I don't know. Yeah, the GMs are talking, they're calling and all that stuff. That maybe Joe Shane talked to whoever is at number 12 or 13 or something, right? Hey, if a guy is available, they might have their eye on. They might want Witherspoon. They might want Gonzalez. They might want one of the two freaking boomer at cornerback. They want, I don't know. They might want Njigba. I don't, what I'm saying. But if he calls, whoever's picking 12 or 13, he might say, hey, if our guy's there, what would it take to move for us to go from 25 to 12? So, they got to have their feelers out and everything like that. But it's like, how much there's a good chance you're not going to get these guys. How far into the first round do you want to bring them in? Then it's like, if some of these guys are like third round picks, it's like, right. And then you get like the Hendon Hooker. Okay. I'm not saying the Giants are going to take him, but what I'm hearing. Okay. And I'm going to go over all these guys' names here in just a minute here. But to get somebody like him, okay, what I'm hearing, all right, is that, the dude's got some freaking upside to him. He's coming off of an injury, okay? He's going to need, maybe a little time. His ceiling, he's got a good ceiling to him, okay? Doesn't mean he's going to be an all-star. Doesn't mean he's going to be replacing Daniel Jones. He could be not a total bust, but he cannot do good either, all right? But there's a good possibility, right? Of he might be good, okay? He's also, I think, 25 too, right? But like with him, what you hear, some of these guys, it's like taking him at 25 is a little too rich. It's like some like you hear like the center from Minnesota, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmitz. I hear a lot of like, man, it might be too rich at 25, but they're not going to be there when they draft in the second round. So you got these tweeners, so if you're going to bring these guys, unless you're just, I would be freaking floored if they took Hendon Hooker at number 25. Yeah, they took a backup quarterback at number 25. I would be like, well, whew. Yeah. Oh, man. That would be almost funny. You think people freaked out when they took Daniel Jones at number 6? Could you imagine people taking Hendon Hooker at number 25 with all the holes we got on the line? Wow. But, so it's like, they're bringing him in. It's like, I guess maybe to get obviously the better known, but, they also might want to, it's like, man, maybe we can, because we got 10 picks, right? Maybe we can try to jump into the early part of the second round and trade with somebody, maybe to grab one. So, you got these guys there, and some of them are tight ends. Kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit like that. I guess they're trying to, I don't know, run the gambit. They're trying to, I don't know. Some of it might be smoke screens as well. Okay. Why are you going all out bringing in like tight ends when you just drafted Bellinger, right? You got Waller. I mean, you got him for 4 years, Waller, right? But he's going to be 31 when the season starts. Injury history, so there's a chance maybe, say he gets injured this year, maybe they can get rid of him. Who knows? But do you want to really draft a tight end in the first or second round? Then you have, Waller, you might have Kincaid, and then, whatever, Bell, Waller, so, but some of them might be some smoke screens, they're just trying to, but, let's see where these guys. I mean, I know they brought in Branch as well too, right? I see a lot of upside to him because not only with him, with Branch, the safety slash. I mean, you put him in the box. I mean, I heard he could play in a slot. He plays a safety. You know what I mean? Perfect for a Wink Martindale defense. Perfect, right? I mean, if you lost J Love and Special Sauce, right? You might want to. We brought McCain in, but right, he's kind of might be a torch holder. Okay, we have Belton. Okay, but I mean, if you want to get that dynamic duo back again, you got me, McKinney, right? May not be a bad idea to maybe get another safety. Well, we'll see. But one of the guys they brought in was Joey Porter Jr. Now, once again, a lot of the time, what I'm hearing is, he may not be there for the Giants, but with somebody like him, right? So he makes it to, say, like number 20 or something like that. Okay. I don't think Witherspoon or Gonzalez, I don't think they brought either one of those guys in, right? But like with Porter, they want to maybe talk to him, see what his, get to know him a little bit better, ask him some questions, and they might wind up being a situation where it's like, this guy's pretty freaking good. We like this guy. If he makes it to 20, I'll call up. As I said, let me just hold on there. NFL draft order 2023. There we go. NFL draft order. Okay. 20. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. The freaking Porter, I'll tell you what. If he makes it to 20, I talked to Seattle, right? They said we can move up. We can go from 25 to 20. We would have to give him our first and third round to get Joey Porter. So, what I'm saying? So, I mean, or if they wanted to move up with number, who the hell would that be? 12. Oh, that would be with the Texans, right? What I'm saying? But, so they got feelers out and everything. But, I mean, Joey Porter is one of those guys, and I'm kind of hearing he may not make it to the Giants at number 25. Then they had, let's say, the Marvin Mims. I'm hearing a lot about him, more of a second-round pick, not a first-round pick, okay? Wide receiver from Oklahoma. Okay, then Kendra Miller running back from TCU. Special player, very special. You're not taking him in the first round. Okay, but I mean, possibly maybe second round or so. But some of these guys could be like a third round. You got Brian Brzee, the defensive end. I mean, I've seen him play in the interior defensive line as well too from Clemson. He's a first rounder. Will McDonald, the defensive end from Iowa State, they brought him in. As I said, I mean, just because we got Azeez and Kayvon, you can never have too much on that defensive front. Even they drafted Brzee, right? Well, we got Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, so what? Good, now we got Brian Brzee. Cool, yeah, right? We got Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau, right? Why are we drafting Will McDonald? Now we got another edge rusher, right? So they brought in Marte Mapu from Sacramento State, but once again, not a first rounder, but he's a safety slash linebacker. Okay. Drew Sanders, linebacker from Arkansas, right? I mean, you put him next to a Karake, right? May not be bad. Second rounder. Possibly. Henley, linebacker from Washington State. Some of these guys second, maybe third round picks. Then they brought in Addison. They brought in some wide receivers. They brought in Addison, okay. Hyatt, right, from Tennessee. Zay Flowers from Boston College. Okay. So they brought in, it's like, I don't know, any way they go, oh, I'm sorry. I just kicked my dog. I'm sorry, buddy. Any way they go, I mean, if they grab if they think, one of these like Zay Flowers, if they grab him, okay, all right, let's roll with it, right? If they grab, a cornerback, okay, if they grab a defensive lineman, however they go, you got to accept it. You got to feel good about it. You got to roll. The only problem would be. Okay, and this is just obviously it's like no kidding, Jeff, but the guy's got to be a hit. He's got to be hit. I mean, if they're going to draft a defensive lineman like Brazil, he's got to be a hit. I'm not saying he's got to be an all-pro or something, but he's got to be somebody that can contribute. You can't be getting no Eli Apple, right? Or or Flowers or somebody like that who's not a first rounder. Okay, you got to get somebody who can play. Okay, then he brought in White, the defensive lineman from Georgia Tech. Okay, once again another defensive lineman. Right, they brought in Cam Smith from cornerback from South Carolina. Okay, Matthews, a safety from Indiana. Once again, some of these guys are later round picks. Right, Gervin Dexter, defensive lineman from Florida. Trey Palmer, wide receiver from Nebraska. And I'll tell you what, that's kind of, I guess, like an oxymoron or whatever like that. Wide receiver from Nebraska. You don't usually hear that too much. I mean, those two words together don't go, right? I mean, wide receiver U is not Nebraska, okay? But they brought in Trey Palmer. Okay, then they brought in John Jacob Jingleheimer. That's a song I sang when I was a kid. But John Michael Schmitz, the center from Minnesota. Okay. They brought in Hendon Hooker. Then they brought Payne Durham, the tight end from Purdue. Okay. It's like, I don't man, if we're gonna draft, like, say, him, and we got Waller and we got Bellinger, it's like, geez, what are we gonna do? Like, or a 3 tight end set out there. I mean, Saquon in the backfield, 3 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. I mean, whew, I don't know. They brought, then this is important, okay? Very, very important. But once again, a later round pick. But you want to find out more about these guys because they could be extremely valuable. Clayton Tune, the quarterback from Houston. You want to know more about him. If we bring this guy in, he's not going to be setting the world on fire, especially this year. I don't know if he'll ever set the world on fire, period. But you want somebody, you want to bring a quarterback in, especially that Daboll and all, it's like, I think we can work with this guy, right? Bring him in, develop him, sit him behind Tyrod and Daniel for a year. You can always bring Tyrod back next year, too, if he wants to come back as well, too, okay? And have this guy sit for a year or two. And when it's time for him to be the backup, right? And you have to put him in there, he can be productive. They brought in a defensive tackle from Notre Dame, another Yaya Diaby, defensive lineman from Louisville, right? Trey Hawkins, a cornerback from Old Dominion. I've heard some nice things about him. Luke Musgrave, the tight end from Oregon State. Okay. So I mean, I say it would be a little weird. I mean, for them, they're going to draft a tight end in the first 3 rounds or so, but stranger things are going to happen. Brandon Hill, safety from Pittsburgh. Okay. As I said, if we want to get a nice tandem going once again, I mean, we got Belton, right? Byron Young, a linebacker from Tennessee. Brian Branch from Alabama. Okay. Now, once again, if the Giants are going to want him, all right, they're going to have to get him in the first round. Okay. Because Brian Branch, or jump back into the first round, or however you want to say, if he makes it to the Giants, period, at number 25. But once again, that could be one of those things. And they bring him in and want to maybe have him draw up some plays, see what their IQ is, and, get maybe a little better. They have some health questions or health concerns about him, learn more about him. That's what these visits are there for. But with Branch, as I said, he may not even make the Giants to make the 25. But he's one of those Swiss Army knives. I mean, I heard he played, I think he can even play out wide, but he's a safety, right? But I heard he play, I think, wide. He plays in the slot. You can bring him up into the box. I mean, almost perfect for a Wink Martindale defense, the positionless defense, right? So, I mean, if you were to get him, you got Xavier back there, and you got Brian Branch back there. Now you got your 2 young stud safeties, right? So it's really hard to, however they go, you just got to go with the flow. As I said, the biggest thing is whoever it is they draft, they got to be a player, right? And as I said, I'm not saying they have to be a Hall of Famer, all pro or nothing, but they have to be productive. You can't, miss on pick number 25 and, that would hurt because the Giants still have some holes. And obviously the Giants, they're running a little short on money, so they can't consistent, keep going out there. Not that you want to do that, but keep going out in the free agency like the Eagles do, right? And just keep bringing in guys. We'll just keep bringing guys, right? It's not something that the Giants don't want to seem to do. Okay, they want to seem to draft, develop their guys, hopefully keep the guys, right, and go forward from there. So, which brings me to my next point. Next portion of our video, the Giants this is like even by far. The Giants led the NFL in snaps taken by players age 25 or under in 2022. Now, some of it is on Giants Wire. Okay. Now, a lot of this is also with Saquon. He'll be 26. But regardless, we got, I don't even know if all 10 of the draft picks are going to make the team, right? I don't even know if we'll even use all 10. He possibly could trade up, maybe in back into the first round or into the second round, something like that, couple of the later round picks or something to move up and grab somebody. They can maybe move, what I'm hearing, the Giants may not get any compensatory picks next season, right? So if Shane wants some extra picks next season, okay, which is never a bad idea, what he can maybe do is take, say, pick 25, all right? So, somebody wants to move up, whoever it is, from, say, the Chiefs want to go up to whatever, right? When they want to go from 32 to 25. Well, now we get pick number 32 and say we get the Chiefs, I don't know, third round pick, whatever, however it would work out, right? But the pick doesn't have to be this year. It could be the Chiefs' third round pick next year, which might be best for the Giants because the Chiefs' third round pick this year would probably be the last pick in the third round. Right? If they don't win the Super Bowl this year coming up, right, their pick number 3 would be earlier in the third round. So that might benefit the Giants. Okay. So, the Giants might want to try to get an extra draft pick or 2 next year. Okay. So, but it says here, the Giants finished 9-7-1 last year, the first season under General Manager Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll. They also qualified for the postseason first time since 2016. And did it with a lot of young and inexperienced players, which is just really rather remarkable. Not only young, but inexperienced, okay? In fact, the Giants had players the age of 25 or under take more snaps by far. It's not even close. More snaps than any other team in the NFL by a significantly wide margin. Now, if you look here, the snaps taken, okay, in 2022 by players on the Giants age 25 years of age or under, they had 18,302 snaps taken by players age 25 or under. The second closest was the Pittsburgh Steelers, 16,400. Nobody even had 17,000. The Giants had almost 2,000 more snaps, about 1,850. So almost 2,000 more snaps taken by players 25 and under. Okay? It wasn't not even close. By a wide margin. Now, if you figure, right, if there's, let's say, I don't know, there's 60s, I don't know, just say 120, say 130 plays in a game, just throwing a number out there, 130 with special teams and offense and, say it's all total 130. All right, now you got 130, and on each play, there's 11 players on the field. So there's 130, 1,430 possible snaps taken by players in a game. 1,430, say 1,500. So say about around 1,500 snaps, okay? The Giants were ahead of Pittsburgh by almost 2,000, 1,850. So that's more than like one full game the Giants play with guys 25 or under. All right, I'm just throwing numbers out there. I'm just saying, say there's about 1,500 total player snaps in a game, okay? If there was like 130 or 140 snaps in a game, okay? And there's 11 guys on the field at any given time, every time, okay? It's about 1,500 player snaps in a game. So the Giants were more than one full game ahead of the closest competitor. Not even close. There are a lot of teams, though. I'll tell you what, you got to get. I mean, Pittsburgh was second with 16,000. Detroit had 16,000. The Cowboys had almost 16,000. The Panthers had almost 16,000. The Seahawks had 15,008. The Ravens were 15,007. The Chiefs were 15,000. So there's a lot of snaps taken by players younger. Okay, so I mean, you can see it as a what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, even at the top 17 teams, the Jets are the 17th. They had over 14,000 snaps taken by players 25 or under. So, I mean, it's a young league, okay? It says here, it's a good sign for the Giants as their young stars are getting much needed experience, which is huge. Of the top 4 defensive snap leaders, only one, cornerback Fabian Moreau, was over 25, but he's no longer on the team. Okay, I'm kind of a little, I don't know. He did well when he had to take Adoree Jackson's spot, because Adoree Jackson obviously injured his knee trying to return the punt against the Lions. But he did a decent job, not when he was trying to replace Adoree Jackson, but when he was like the number 2 cornerback. He did a decent job, and he's I don't know. He's not going to break the bank, but it is what it is. Okay, neither is safety Julian Love, okay, who took a bunch of snaps, who led the league and led the defense in snaps with 1,006. Okay, he signed with Seattle, obviously, but defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence and defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau remain with the Giants. Okay, those are the 2 of the top 4. All right. So on offense, I mean, this is impressive. 7 of the top 9 snap leaders were 25 or under. Okay. We got Andrew Thomas, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, Evan Neal, Daniel Bellinger, and guard Ben Bredesen. Out of the top 9, okay, only Mark Lewinsky and John Feliciano were over 25. Now, Feliciano obviously is gone. Lewinsky might be his last year with the Giants. Okay. Let's see. Although the Giants may trim the gap with the rest of the league in 2023, they're still expected to be one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Oh, absolutely. Because, I mean, you figure, right? I mean, let's see. I get what right here. Okay, here we go. And this is from last year. Okay, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last year, they had 8 guys who were 30 or over last year. Okay, so they're going to have a couple guys. Well, I mean, they brought in Waller, who's 31. I think they brought in Crowder, I think is 30. So they brought in a couple guys, right? They also brought in Smith, who's 26. Parrish Campbell's 26, right? So, I mean, they brought in some old guys, some young guys, you know what I mean? But they also brought in Kenny Golladay, right? He's 29. He'll be 30 this year. Okay, well, obviously, he's gone, right? They had Tony Jefferson last year was 30. Well, he's gone. Mark Lewinsky is 30, okay? When will it be 31? Does it say? Okay, he'll be 31 in a couple weeks. Okay, but this might be his last season. John Feliciano was 30. He's gone. Nick Williams, he was 32. He's gone. Casey Kreider, we brought back. Jelly Ellis, he was 32. He's gone. Tyrod Taylor, he's the backup quarterback. Experienced, knowledgeable, very good, very solid backup quarterback. You got to put him in there. I'm all for it. I could care less how he could be 152. Don't matter. As long as he can still play, I don't give a crap about what his age is. Same thing with Graham Gano. He's 35. I could care less. The dude can keep kicking field goals. He can be 170. I could freaking care less. But the thing is that, what we got? I mean, I said Jefferson's gone. Feliciano's gone. Williams is gone. Jelly Ellis is gone. Kenny Golladay, who would be 30 this year, he's gone. Nick Vannett, who would be 30 this year, I don't think we have him back. Right. So, so we got some guys who last year were 30 and also then some guys turning 30 this year who are not back either. Okay. And we're going to be replacing some of those guys with up to 10 draft picks. Now that's I keep saying that's the one kind of thing is, we got a real good solid team And as I said, let's not forget, I mean, we're going to be getting McKeithen back, Zudu back, DJ Davidson back. Who else we got? Oh, Beaver's back. I'm so excited to see that. I hope he stays healthy. Colin Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson. So we got like some decent guy. I mean, we don't know what we really have with McKeithen. I'm sorry. I believe if you take a guard in the third round, I think they got some intentions for you there as far as possibly being a starter. Okay. So, I mean, Colin Johnson was having a very good training camp. I mean, if he can stay healthy, 6'5", 6'6", good training camp. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro or nothing like that, but look for him possibly to be a contributor. Okay. Wan'Dale Robinson, we know what he was able to do. His problem was he got injured. He caught one pass against the Titans, hurt his knee. He missed some time. Comes back, plays a few games, then he gets injured and is out for the season. But I mean, I said, Colin Johnson hopefully he'll be a contributor. Wan'Dale Robinson, Darian Beavers. I mean, looked like he might have been a starter, right? So let's keep an eye out on that guy. Okay. Then you got Zudu, right? I mean, I said I could certainly see Zudu if he can come back healthy from I believe it was the neck. Let's knock on wood. Let's hope everything's okay. I mean, if you draft a guard in the third round, I mean, to draft a guard in the third round to be a backup or just, depth, or I can see, I think they have visions of him being a starter. Okay. McKeithen, maybe not so much. I think he was a 5th round pick. So maybe just some depth. Who knows? Hey, maybe something else, might turn up, but and then you got Davidson. Okay. Some depth at the defensive lineman. Okay. But so let's not forget, I mean, we got some young guys who finished the season on IR last year, weren't on the team. Young guys got some big contributors. DJ Davidson was certainly a contributor when he was healthy, because I mean, with Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence taking all those snaps, I mean, they had it. I mean, you can have them on the field the whole game. It's great, but I mean, after a while, they ain't gonna be able to stop nothing. I mean, I could run past them. I mean, if they're that tired, they're not gonna, right? So, I mean, Davidson was important. Some depth at the defensive line, interior defensive line, very important. So we got some important guys coming back, young guys. Then we got 10 draft picks. So it kind of makes you think, is like, are all 10 of these picks even going to make the team? I said, because I could certainly see without question that the guys, like as I said, like Johnson, Beavers, Davidson, McKeithen, Zudu, Wan'Dale Robinson, see those guys certainly coming back and making the team. So that's why it kind of makes you kind of think a little bit that maybe Shane might couple a couple picks together, jump into a round or something like that, and maybe jump up and grab somebody, another starter, or maybe trade back. And I said, I've heard this a couple times, trade back, grab a team's pick from this year and grab a pick from next year, right, to give us an extra pick or so next year, because I think we only have 6 or 7. We're not going to be getting no compensatory picks next year. So how like last year we had like 11 picks. This year we had 11. We gave one away for Darren Waller, but how we had a boatload of them the past couple of years. We're not going to get that next year. So what do you got, Terrence? We lost a lot of under 25 snaps to injury. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we had a young team. So I mean, that's really, really good. Now let's just hope that we can keep the guys. I mean, because that's what you want to hear. They want them, draft them, develop them, and keep them. The problem, it's good and bad, if you think of it, we just draft them and keep them, and that's great, woo, but the problem is that if you draft and develop them, you want them to be the best they can be. Well, that's great, and of course we do, but the problem is that if they develop too good, you can only keep so many guys. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I don't like about the NFL. If you draft too good, you can't afford to keep the guys. I don't like. I don't like that. Like, I mean, if you draft somebody in, say, the 5th or 6th round, okay, and he just turns out to be freaking dynamite. I mean, I mean, like Jesse Armstead, got him in the 8th round. I mean, could you imagine after his 4-year contract is up? I mean, I think we drafted him with 93. We drafted him and Michael Strahan, 93. Yeah. But Jesse Armstead was a beast. I mean, he was, oh man, from the U, right? But he good linebacker. I'm saying you draft somebody like him in the 8th round, right? After 4 years, nowadays, what's he going to want? At least 15 to 20 million, So that's the thing I don't like about the NFL now is like if you draft too good and you just can't afford to keep your players. I wish they could do something about that. Somehow work something in there. Like, if you draft your players, you should be able to, but that's the one thing is if you draft too good, you can't afford to keep them. Because, you see some of these contracts. Sexy Dexy, what's he going to want? Probably close to 20 to 25. And, if we ever sign Saquon, he's going to want at least, 13, 14, whatever. Daniel Jones, he just got 40. What the frick is Andrew Thomas going to want? Holy crap. Did you hear anything about Allen Robinson? Yeah. Do you think he would have been a good fit for us? See, unfortunately, because that happened already. We are, I'm saying, we brought Slayton back. We brought Shepard back. We're getting Wan'Dale Robinson back from injury. We just got Paris Campbell. I'm excited to see him out there. Jeff Smith, he might be more of a special teams kind of guy. And then we got Crowder. And then we have, I was talking about Colin John. We got him coming back too. So we got a ton of wide receivers, a ton. The only thing like with Robinson is that, what I like if we draft somebody, you get them for 4 years or so, especially in the second round, he might cost you $1.5 million or so a year on the cheap, So, the thing is also is that a lot of these guys, I think Colin Johnson, we have him was his last year. Slayton, we got for 2 years, I think. Shepard, if he makes the teams, 1 year. Jeff Smith, I think, is 1 year. Paris Campbell, I think, is 1 year. Jamison Crowder, I think, is 1 year. So we got a lot of guys, right, on 1 year deals. So, a lot of these guys are here this year. They could be gone next year. But, Allen Robinson would have been nice. But, I said, we got so many guys, so many wide receivers. I said, I think that, if we wind up drafting somebody, I could see that because then we'll have control of them for 4 years. Or unless we take, if Addison falls to us at 25, right? A lot of what I'm hearing is that, some also is that, they want guys who can separate. Okay. So it's not so much a huge thing. Well, you want to have a slot guy who's 5'10", right? Who can get open. Then you want a huge guy out over here and you want another huge guy out over here who can just take the top off. And that's cool, but they want guys who can get separation. Okay. Now, I'm hearing some of these guys, they can, really special as far as getting separation. Oh yeah. I like Colin Johnson. Yeah, he was having a great training camp. What the hell? I think was it against the Patriots? I remember. I think he had 10 receptions in a couple of the games. I think he had 7 against the Patriots. I think it was. And he tore his Achilles. It's just, geez, it's come on, man. Freaking shame. It really is. You really feel bad for these guys. You feel bad for the Giants and all, but you feel horrible for these guys. They work their freaking butts off just to get there, and they wind up hurting themselves. Hopefully the Achilles and the ACLs and all that, hopefully that'll come down a lot this year. Because, he was doing good. Same thing with Darian Beavers. He was doing good as well too. Once again, young guys, right? But as I say, I think Colin Johnson, I think this is his last year, I think, with that we have him under our contract. So, yeah, but, if he can stay healthy, look for him to be a contributor. But he's one of those tall guys, right? 6'5", 6'6", right? But I know the Giants are looking for guys who can get separation. I think that might have been one of the problems with Kenny Golladay, right? I don't know if, Coach Daboll's Yeah, we'll just throw the ball too. We'll just throw it in the air and hopefully it comes down with that. And I think he wants separation. I think that might have been one of the problems with Kenny Golladay, right? Because he just don't get no separation. So, but it'd be interesting to see. But I think however they wind up going, I think in the draft, I think it'll be he's got to go with it. You know, whether they go cornerback, wide receiver, they take an offensive lineman, they take somebody on a defensive lineman or an edge rusher. Whoever it is, but they have to be a contributor. They can't be a bust. Right. Well, guys, it's been 40 minutes. Terrence, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Anybody spent any time at all watching this? Thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.